What is up, YouTube? I am Devon DaVinci, and I'm leader of the Renaissance Crew. If you want to join the Renaissance Crew, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. And I am leading you on the road of enlightenment. And one thing I'm going to enlighten you on today is social justice warriors. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm doing a video series called Cringe. It's just the cringiest sides of all aspects of life. That includes the left, the right, religion, when it comes to social ideas, anything like that. If it's cringeworthy, it will get the treatment. I've already done cringe on gamers. I've done cringe on Christianity. I've done cringe on psychics. I've done cringe on con artists. And now I'm doing cringe on social justice warriors. But one thing I want to establish before anything, before I even get into this, and for anyone that's watching these series, I want to show these things specifically to demonstrate that this is not the majority of people. These are the exceptions. So when you see videos like this, you think, oh, all social justice warriors, this, that, and the other, or oh, all feminists are like this, or oh, all right-wingers are like this, or oh, all left-wingers are like this, or all Christians or Muslims or whatever else. Just understand, these are the exceptions. Not everybody's like this. Just because you see it on TV doesn't mean everybody in the world is like this. So let's get into this, see what it has to offer, and see if we can try to get a laugh or two. Try not to cringe too hard.
Waiting here and listening to me. I had an abortion. I had an abortion on Good Friday.
My thing is, I don't know, I just have a thing about women with armpit hair. Maybe you can call it a preference. I just don't like armpit hair on women. I know there's women out there that like tall guys. I know there's women out there that like guys with beards. I don't have a beard. I am just above average height. So, I mean, I might not fall in a lot of women's preferences, but I don't have a preference for armpit hair. So if you have armpit hair, I'm not saying I won't go out with you, but there are things that I prefer over it. So let's get back.
So, this video is directed towards people who are already kind of understanding that gender is a social construct, but maybe aren't sold or haven't thought about the idea that biological sex is also a social construct.
After 23 years of marriage and 7 kids, Stephanie realized she wasn't a crossdresser. She was transgender, a person whose gender is different than the sex they were assigned at birth.
So far, I don't have a
These
problem
days,
with it.
she's got a job plowing
I don't really
snow
care.
and has a new family made up of friends and a new relationship.
I'm allowed to be exactly who I am, and I don't have to apologize or make excuses why I'm different. I can't deny I was married, I can't deny I have children, but I've moved forward now and I've gone back to...
I don't see a point in this really being cringe. I mean, I'll go into the transsexual thing later because I know I said something before that I was going to continue on, but something I don't seem to get yet with YouTube, I'm still working on it, is that somebody that watched one video is not guaranteed to watch another video. So I should probably make my points in that video, not say something and then say I'll go further into it in another video. So I will go further into this at the end of this video.
being a child. I don't want to be an adult right now, and I just live my life.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold the fuck up. Now I know why this is on the compilation. You being a man wanting to be a woman, that's fine. I have no issue with that. Sex change, all that, I have no problems with that. You only live once, so live your life however you want to live it. But when you're a grown-ass person, and then you got the nerve to talk about, oh, but I want to be a child, though. To me, it just sounds like you're running from responsibilities.
Life like I couldn't when I was in school.
How are things in your life now?
Well, I have a mommy and daddy, a adopted mommy and daddy, who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl, and their children and their grandchildren are totally supportive. In fact, her youngest granddaughter, when I was 8, a year ago I was 8, and she was 7, and she said to me, I want you to be the little sister, so I'll be 9. I said, well, I don't mind going to 6, so I've been 6 ever since. But we have a great time, and we color, we do kid stuff. It's called play therapy, No medication, no suicide thoughts.
I have done my research.
That's where I draw the damn line.
You're fucking old. You're fucking a white male. Yes. In America. Yes. Look at all the fucking black people that are Mexicans. That's not a fucking issue compared to the black people that are police. Bullshit. The white guys are right. You're a white man. This is fucking bullshit.
I don't get the whole white people being racist against white people. It's weird.
Facebook, I'm that bitch that was gonna flame y'all, and I'm sorry to say that you claim that this is free speech, but in actuality, I have a point of view that you may or may not respect, and you did not allow me to have a platform to do that. So I'm taking.
The fuck are you doing?
I can't. I think.
Do you have a question?
My question.
I'm not for the Trump chant, but this is cringy.
If rape culture is a myth, then explain why Kesha was not allowed to break the contract with her executive.
Motherfucker, get the hell out of here with Kesha.
I'm not going to comment on an individual case that I know nothing about. You're obviously better educated in pop culture than I am. I'll have to pass, I'm afraid.
I'm not a fan of Milo either, but that was a cringy moment.
Issue, and there was a lawyer who decided she didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. She wanted to be a Guardian columnist, so she made a name for herself by complaining that a man had said she looked nice. Well, I'm sorry, love. So she went to town, publicly shamed him.
I suspect this is verging the runs about hominin attacks.
I am really interested to hear where you're going because I don't think I read it.
In your piece, you said that if it was a man, you'd probably have laughed. Do you want me to quote it?
I'm genuinely, yes, I would, because I'm not saying you're wrong, I just don't remember writing it.
Okay. I'll find it while you're
After this one last question, just to clarify.
Yeah, it was, if I knew that a male member of staff was speculating about how I look naked, I would cause the sort of fuss that would make Charlotte Proudman look meek. If I heard a female colleague doing the same thing about Andrew in accounts, I'd probably laugh and I might even join in.
Damn.
Liberals need to stand up for liberal principles. This is what I said on last week's show. Obviously,
I think I've seen this. If this has Ben Affleck in it, I've seen this.
Liberal principles like freedom of speech, freedom to practice any religion you want without fear of violence, freedom to leave a religion, equality for women, equality for minorities, including homosexuals. These are liberal principles that liberals applaud for. But then when you say in the Muslim world this is what's lacking, then they get upset.
Yeah, even it gets.
So hold on, are you the person who understands the officially codified?
This was cringy.
You're the interpreter of that, so you can say, well, this is.
I'm actually well educated on this topic.
I'm asking you. So you're saying if I criticize you're saying that Islamophobia is not a real thing.
I'm not denying that certain people are bigoted against Muslims as people, and that's a problem.
Big of you.
But
why are you so hostile about this?
It's gross. It's racist.
It's not. But it's so nuts.
It's not racist. Having a problem with Islam is not racist. Islam is not a race. It's a religion. I've told you I have issues with Islam for the same reasons I have issues with Christianity and any other organized religion. Me being against that does not mean that I'm against the people that practice those religions. I'm against the religion itself. The ideas, the doctrines, the dogmas, the things that associate themselves with the organized religion itself. Not the people, the religion.
Like saying those stateless, shifty Jew.
You're not listening to what they are saying.
Jewish is different because Jewish actually is a race.
Right. Freedom of speech, like we are endowed by our forefathers with inalienable rights, like all men are created equal.
Ben, we have to be able to criticize bad ideas. And
of course we do. No liberal doesn't want to criticize bad ideas.
But Islam at this moment is the motherlode of bad ideas.
Jesus.
So we have
That's
ideas
just a fact.
like blasphemy.
It is. It's an ugly thing.
Apostasy.
It is gross. It's racist.
Are you fucking retarded? What the hell's the matter with you?
USA! 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 USA!
This is not how to fight these type of chants.
It's the only thing!
Again, I don't support the whole wall thing, and the over-patriotism tends to be kind of cringy for me, but that is not how you defend against it.
Destruction of this scale is dedicated to all of the women whose lives have been ruined and ruled by it. This is for us, ladies. Safety first. I'm tired of you stealing my life. I'm tired of you making me feel if I'm good or bad. I'm tired of you deciding how my day is. No more of you deciding my life. No more of you stealing life from me.
Wait a minute. I know I'm pausing a lot. If you want to see the video without any pauses, click on the link in the description box down below. It'll take you to the video where you can watch it without me interrupting. She just said, I'm tired of you telling me whether I'm good or bad. Who the fuck said being fat makes you a bad person? Does she see fat people as bad people? Like, being fat is unhealthy. And I know the whole fat acceptance and body acceptance bullshit that's going through. And you got like Tess Holliday and them talking about how, you know, your weight doesn't matter and this, that, and the other, which is complete bullshit. But being fat doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that you have a trait that is unhealthy. It's like somebody who smokes cigarettes trying to make a movement saying cigarette acceptance or some shit. Like, no, smoking cigarettes is unhealthy. That's just what it is. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person for doing it. It just means that you have an unhealthy habit or you have an unhealthy trait that you should work on. It doesn't mean that you are forced to work on it. If you don't want to work on it, fine, but don't sit here and complain when you start getting health problems, or don't get mad when your doctor recommends that you do it. Like, that's their point. They're there to help you get healthy. Like, and nobody's forcing you to look a certain way. It's not this big of a deal. Like, fine, there's somebody out there for everybody. Not everybody has the same idea of something. And if the media portrays a certain look, then usually that's because the look is ideal. It's not mandatory. I mean, hell, look at America. We have all these images in movies and TV shows and stuff with guys and girls that are like fit and well endowed and this, that, and the other. But if you look at regular America, most people are married and stuff, and they're not married to these damn Adonises and these beauty queens. They're married to regular people. It's fantasy. You have to understand the difference between fantasy and reality. And does people look up to and want to be that? Yes. But that's just it. It's an ideal. There's people out there that also want to look like Mr. Olympia. There's people out there that also want to look like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger. That doesn't mean that is like mandatory. Like, people are going to talk shit on you for not doing that. I think people blow issues way out of proportion and make life much harder than it needs to be.
This is it! I take back my life! I'm in control! I decide if I'm good or bad, not you! I deserve a great life! This is about me! This isn't about you!
Destroying a scale isn't going to fix anything.
Pick up your drum shit! Pick up your drum shit! Pick up your drum shit, you white male!
But yeah, about the scale shit. It's like, just one more time. It's like if your car was having an engine issue and the little indicator light was flashing. Instead of actually fixing the problem, you destroying the scale and deciding, oh, well, I'm not going to step on scales anymore. All it's doing is taking the little light behind the indicator and removing it so the flashing light isn't on anymore. You still have the problem with the car. It's just you're not being warned about it anymore. So you're afraid of the warning. It's like people that don't want to go to the doctor because they're like, oh, I'm afraid what they're going to say. Well, your body's still fucked up. It's just you're running away from the indicator. And I will agree. I do support movements, and the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole I do agree with, but there are certain individual things in it that I do think give it a bad name. Something like this is a bad idea. It doesn't draw awareness to what you're doing, it just irritates people and make them go against what you want to do. There are ways to do protests without outright fucking up somebody's day. I don't think you were going to stop an SUV. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily applaud it, But I will say, if it was me, I probably would have drove through also. If I got places I got to be to and you're trying to intentionally block the road, I would have just went through.
Church? That's a fucking terrorist attack. Whose fault is that?
It is. It's a terrorist attack.
It's a white man's fault. What about the fact that this young man was on psychotropic drugs? What about the fact he had a fucking Confederate flag? What about the fact that this man and almost every other mass killer has been on psychotropic drugs? That means we have a mental fucking health problem, but it's also the fault of the white. So let me ask you this. Do you know who's taking money from Big Pharma? Hillary! Everybody! Wrong! Donald Trump has taken $0 from Big Pharma. I stuck you on that one. You have any...
It still doesn't matter, though. Even if he didn't take any money from Big Pharma, he still supports their agenda. It really doesn't matter. I mean, the only reason why he doesn't is because he already has money. If Donald Trump was a regular-ass politician, I'm pretty sure he would have accepted donations from him also. Also, I already told you guys, I support guns, but I'm also supportive of gun control. And the fact that somebody who's mentally deranged is able to go in and buy a gun, to me, is a problem. That should be something that should be fixed. So they're not really addressing that. Like, yeah, he's on these psycho whatever the fuck drugs, but he still was able to get a gun. That's kind of an issue too.
Oh my god, I believe that. I don't believe in it. Homophobia shouldn't be allowed. Oh my god, I believe that white men shouldn't dictate a fucking woman's place in the world. You fucking douchebags. You misogynist pieces of shit. Trigger.
I mean, like I said, it's weird hearing white people like be racist against white people. It's weird.
That answers my question. That answers my question. Hey,
okay.
Why are you
You've
so
immediately
intolerant?
stepped into the wrong.
That sign is bullshit.
Because you're an intolerant homosexual.
Fucking leave.
You're an intolerant homosexual. I thought rainbows represent equality.
Fucking leave.
I want equality of sidewalk.
Fucking leave.
I want equality.
Leave.
No, you push like a girl.
That's fucked.
Turns out
I'm gonna go back so we can watch the beginning of this speech. I am all for free speech, 100%. And that includes the free speech of people that you don't want to hear saying shit. When there's like an alt-right rally, as much as I hate what they're saying, they have a freedom to be there and say what they want to say. Just like I have the freedom to counter-protest their ass. The thing is, you don't start attacking people for saying stuff you don't want them to say. That's not free speech. That's not how America works. If the Ku Klux Klan was having a rally on city steps at some city hall or some shit, I mean, they have the freedom to be there. Hopefully you won't be listening to them, but they have the freedom to be there. And like I said, we have the freedom to be right outside protesting them also. That's how America works. That's freedom of protest.
not just a fertile animal who's meant.
I said I was going to go back. I'm sorry.
Turns out I'm not just a fertile animal who's meant to scream only during childbirth. Oh! And thanks, science, for discovering my orgasm and then giving me tips on how to keep having them. Like that time you suggested that I surround myself with men because they get competitive and work harder to please me.
What article were you reading?
Better climax. Thanks, science. Hey, science, you should know I already did all of the experimenting for you. Like I get it. You discovered the female orgasm in 2014, but I discovered the female orgasm during nap time, at sleepovers, in my parents' basement, under the bleachers, on the school bus, on top of many a bunk bed, in the shower, the back seat, in the closet, out of the closet, during the she's all that makeover reveal scene. Like science! I got this! Science! I got this!
Tons and tons of people wrapping around both sides.
I'm just curious what article she read that said
that
discovered female orgasm in 2014.
Yes, I can. Don't push me. This is not allowed. I don't care. You can't push me. I'm gonna make you famous as hell right now. Negative.
Get off the steps.
You assault me again and push me. That's the same stuff. No.
The steps.
No.
Get off the steps.
No.
You can be in the public space. You cannot be in the private space.
Well, if I'm actually asked to be here and I'm part of this, yes, I can be. Thank you.
Get off
Negative.
the steps.
Please push me right now because I'm going to put you all over the internet right
Be
now.
all over the internet. Be all over the internet.
I mean, if you were on private property, it doesn't matter if you were invited to the public protest, you can't go into the private property. Like, that should be easy. I don't know the full context behind it, so I don't know who was in the wrong exactly. But if he agrees that he was on a private property, then it really doesn't matter. If the person that running the private property tell you to leave, you gotta leave. God damn it. Yeah, like I said, these people, the ones you saw in this compilation, were the exceptions. They were not everybody. Everybody else is just like you and me. They're watching this and they're going, God damn, this is stupid. even if they support a lot of the things that they go for. Like I said, I'm somebody that actually does support like feminism and some of the issues with social justice warriors, I guess. And I identify myself as a liberal. I don't identify myself as a Democrat because Democrats are pussies, but I identify myself as a liberal. At the same time, I can look at stuff like this and be like, okay, you're wrong. That's stupid. They have the freedom to protest. You can't walk up to them and hit them. They can protest. I don't know what the fuck article you read that talked about the female orgasm. Like, okay, I don't like Milo as much as the next person, but the dude has the freedom to talk when he needs, whenever he wants to. If he gets invited to Berkeley to do some type of speech, I'm not going to sit here and try to force him out. Like, at the worst, I'll just protest outside while he's talking, depending on what he's talking about. Because, I mean, well, yeah, like I said, it depends on what he's talking about. I don't know what the issue might be. I don't get the whole point of, like, locking out Ben Shapiro from doing a speech. Even if I don't support him, he has the right to do the speech. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if Berkeley is like a public university or like a private university. If they're private, then they have the freedom to invite whoever the fuck they want. If they're public, well, if they're private, if they don't want him on there, like after people say they don't want him being there, if they say they don't want him there, then they're free to get rid of him. Just like YouTube and Twitter with Alex Jones and them. People think, oh, well, you're violating their freedom of speech. And no, if it's a private property or private company, they have the freedom to, get rid of them. That's just how it works. They have the freedom to do that. If it's public though, then they don't have the freedom to just get rid of them. Like if y'all agreed to bring him there and he went through all the proper steps, then he has the right to speak there. About the whole transgender thing. Now, I did say a long time ago that me and Ben Shapiro shared something when it came to the trans issue, and it's not the idea that a person can't change their sex. I have no issues with that. If you are a trans person and you were born a man and you want to be a female, or you feel like you're a female or anything like that, you're perfectly free to do that. And I'll even go so far as to say that I will accept your definition of gender. But you have to understand that if I'm talking to somebody and let's say for some reason I'm trying to like ask them whether or not they're a male or a female, I'm not asking for your gender. I'm asking for your biological sex. So to say, like, if you're a man and I ask you what were you before or something like that, don't continue to go with I'm a female. Like, no, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you what sex were you born as. I don't have an issue with somebody, like I said, having a transition. That's not the issue I have. The issue I have with transgender people is, and it's very one-sided. It's not like, well, I'll explain it when I get to it, but the issue I have with transgender people is when somebody has a sex change operation and then want to compete in a sport that features the people of their new sex. I don't support that. Mostly. Because if a woman has a transition and becomes a man and they go into a male sport, now I do think that it sucks that they have this huge disadvantage because biologically men are just stronger than women. Physically, that's just how it is. I do feel bad that they have that disadvantage. But if they succeed in it, hell, I give them all the props in the world. Shit, you deserve every single bit of praise you will get. That you fought a completely uphill battle and was able to come out on top. I salute that. But when a guy has a transition and turns into a woman, and then want to compete in women things, whether it's weightlifting, MMA, whether it's like baseball, basketball, anything like that, I think that you're a fucking coward. Because if you were competing with men and all of a sudden you had a sex change operation, and I don't care if you're on hormones or anything like that, your body still experienced decades of male levels of testosterone and hormones. Like it doesn't matter. Your body developed using those things. It's like a person being on steroids for 30 years and then wanting to come and do some type of natural event because they had 5 years or a decade of using without steroids. Like, your body still developed with the steroids. It's that steroids are a little bit different because they're temporary, but your body's naturally been producing hormones that have made your body into a man. You have the same male bone structure. You have the same density when it comes to muscles, and like I said, you had testosterone and everything else. You have a natural advantage. Even if you start taking female hormones to try to change your hormones around, you still have an advantage. That's the issue that I said. And before you think like, all right, well, what else? No, that was it. That's it. My problem with the transgender issue is with the sports. That's it. Just the sports. And mainly the man transitioning to a woman and competing against other women. That's the issue I have with transsexual. So if you guys sit there and think like, oh, well, he has an issue with transgender. No, I don't have an issue with transgender. I have an issue with transgender people that compete in sports that they're not originally meant to be competing in. So that's all I wanted to clear up. And anybody that thinks that it's okay. I mean, okay, first of all, I understand that a person, like a man who turns into a woman, they can't just start competing with men again, because if they're taking female hormones, now all of a sudden they have a disadvantage. So what I think they should do is just come up with another division. Like, just come up with another division. Compete against people that have gone through the same things you've gone through. If you're a man and you transition to a woman, compete against other trans women. That is the way you should do it. You shouldn't go and compete with women. And if you're a woman and you've transitioned to a man, I mean, I think that there should be a division for that also. If you compete with men and somehow you're able to compete against them, hey, all I can say is you're a beast. Like, I support it. I just feel like if you're able to do that, that makes you a badass. It does. It just makes you a badass. I remember hearing a story about someone, I believe it was in MMA actually, and it was a woman who transitioned to a man, and she beat a guy in MMA. That's fucking badass. I can't go against that. It's just that when a dude transitions to a woman and start beating up women, like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, that's bullshit as far as I'm concerned. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to clear up. Anybody that has an issue with that, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't. Like, it's one, like, usually I would care depending on certain things, because like, I understand other people have their opinions and things like that, and I usually respect other people's opinions. I'm not going to go against something just because I don't agree with it. I will still, feel like we can have a conversation about it. But this thing, we have no conversation about. If you're a man and you transition to be a woman and you're competing against other women, especially in like combat sports or sports that involve your advantage as far as like being born a biological male, then we have nothing to discuss. Now, if you want to compete against women in chess or some shit and you've had a transition, then fine. That's okay, because you're not taking advantage of your physical strengths as a man. If you want to compete against women in NASCAR or anything like that, even though I think women can compete with men anyway. But yeah, I have no issue with that. Anything that puts you on a level playing field, I have no issue with. But when it comes to like fighting or athletic sports like basketball or baseball or football or soccer or anything like that, then no, you should not be able to compete with them. You should have your own division, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, my camera just cut off, so I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap this up. Like I said, I think they should start their own division. It's something that I feel like it would help them in the long run. Anyway, I am Devon DaVinci, and you have just been enlightened. If you want to go ahead and join the Renaissance crew, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to go ahead and check out this video was done by, I didn't even get a chance to look at it. I believe it was the same. Oh, it was done by Trigger Happy, actually. If you want to go ahead and check out Trigger Happy's channel, it's right at the end of this video. Last 30 seconds or so, you'll see a link that will take you directly to their channel inside the video. So I try not to make it too hard for you guys. Hopefully I'll see you on my next video, and I'm going to give you the deuces. So peace.